He's a disgrace to his country, his race, and what he laughingly describes as his profession.
Whenever people want to really make progress, some have to sacrifice a lot.
Son Tien is here, 2 miles south of the demilitarized zone at the narrow top of South Vietnam.
There have been many questions put to me why I refuse to be inducted into the United States Army.
I'd rather see him fight in Korea or Vietnam.
People were showing up with axe handles, banging on doors and banging on cars.
No, I will not go 10,000 miles from here to help murder and kill another poor people simply to continue the domination of white slave masters. The real enemies of my people are right here, not in Vietnam.
This was the stance that changed sports forever. Muhammad Ali, in April of 1967, refused induction into the United States Army to fight in the Vietnam War. It was a stance conservative white America despised. How dare he, they proclaimed, with far more bigotry. He was stripped of his boxing license in his prime at the age of 25. He refused to step forward when he was called for enlistment. As punishment, Ali was convicted of draft evasion, stripped of his heavyweight title, suspended from boxing, sentenced to 5 years in prison, and fined $10,000. In 1970, Ali made his return to the ring facing Jerry Quarry, a white man from Bakersfield, California. Many believe this just happened. While I hear many on the right rail of politics and sports and how it was just so much better when the two weren't intertwined, even though they always were paired together from the get-go, and even the continued insistence of cancel culture, even though they partake in it all the freaking time, including the 45th president and their dear leader, Donald Trump. What I find particularly interesting is the lengths they went in canceling Muhammad Ali.
Those monkeys from those African countries, damn them, they're still uncomfortable wearing shoes.
Prior to being Prez, Reagan was governor of California. At that time, he was left with a choice. You see, Muhammad Ali, through his promoter, Harold Conrad, tried time and time again to book a fight for his comeback. They tried 22 states to get a license. Per the Inquirer, there were said to be enough votes on the California State Athletic Commission until Governor Ronald Reagan announced, quote, "That draft dodger will never fight in my state, period." Reagan said that, Ali asked. Yes, he did, said the writer of the article. Ali comes back with, but didn't he say N-word draft dodger?
You say you're a segregationist?
Yes.
And thus we turn to this man, Lester Garfield Maddox.
I think forced racial integration is criminal and unconstitutional.
A racist who served as governor of Georgia from 1967 to 1971. Maddox caught wind of Ali's potential return fight taking place in his home state, specifically Atlanta, and vehemently opposed it.
I think it is a sad and tragic day that any man that refused to fight for his country would get in the ring and fight for dollars.
Well, doesn't this sound familiar? They are paying him all of this money, and I think what he is doing is very bad for the spirit of the country, Trump said of Colin Kaepernick. The $20 million or so that Kaepernick makes every year is over 800 times what the average active duty U.S. Army enlistee makes for protecting his right to be an arrogant fool, the disgraceful Mike Huckabee wrote. Even with Maddox and Atlanta Mayor Sam Massel despising black empowerment, including Muhammad Ali, they granted the fight take place. However, the backlash was loud and Maddox rescinded its approval. Leroy Johnson, the first black candidate elected to that state's Senate since Reconstruction, played a large part in the Ali-Quarry match going forward. Johnson discovered the state of Georgia had no say in whether or not Ali could box in Atlanta. It was a municipality issue. I was surprised there was no law in Georgia dealing with the boxing commission, Johnson said, because if there had been, I'm not sure I could do this. Hate groups like the KKK and the White Citizen Council fired bullets through the Johnson family window at home. The district attorney, Louis Slayton, had to put the family under protection. Still, it went on. And at the fight, he was introduced to the cheering crowd and a large TV audience as the man who had made the event possible. If you'd like to hear more thought-provoking content like TYT Sports on Facebook and to help in my journey to keep media independent, go to tyt.com/Rick.